What's up, folks? Hope you are all doing well. For my people that are watching this in the future when we are not live, thanks for stopping by. Just gonna spring a racket here. Actually did a live yesterday, went really well. And now I thought it would be, a good idea to continue and do another one. Because yesterday was a success. Today I'm gonna string my racket, so nothing really special there. But yeah, thought I would bring you guys along for another video. Feel free to say hi and ask lots of questions if you would like to. And yeah, we already got one in there, it looks like. Let's check her out. What's the current UTR, Chief? What's up, Dino? Hope you're doing good. The current UTR, I actually checked it today. I think it might be 10.8. 10.8. When I went back to school going into my sophomore year, I think I was 11.2, and then I took a bad loss, and it kind of went down a bit. So yeah, no, I mean, I think it's right about 10.8, I think, something like that. But yeah, sorry if I'm not in the frame right now. I'm just taking the strings out. I see there's probably going to be questions there in a sec. I'll get them, don't worry. Just want to get these strings out here. But yeah, it's funny, I did a live yesterday and there's a lot to talk about. Just kind of get all the tennis stuff out of my system that I can't really talk to other people about, and I talk to you guys about. And now the Rome Masters just finished, finally, after all that weather delay stuff. We got the PGA stuff going on today, the final Sunday. You got MP Tennis Live, that's what you're watching right now. I'm going to talk to you guys maybe about my tournament that's coming up this week that I'm going to enter. And yeah, I also signed up for I don't know if I'll get in, but I signed up for an ITF too. That's later in the summer. What a disaster it is getting strings out sometimes, I'll tell you that. All right, what do we got in here? Your preferred strings intention. What's up? Julian, if I'm reading that correctly. Yeah, preferred string is still Slinko Confidential at 54 and 52 pounds. Nothing too special. I've been using Slinko Confidential for a while now. I think we're coming up on 3 years. Yeah, I really love that string, actually. You just know what you're going to get out of it every time. I did use a lot of other polys in the past. If you have questions about other polys, I mean, I haven't used every one in the book, but I've used quite a few. My tension is also been a little all over the map in my junior career and now college career. I've tested a lot of different tensions too. Yeah, Slinko Confidential, 16 gauge right here. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. We got a video coming out here in the next couple days. Try and get it ready for tomorrow, but I don't know if it will be ready for tomorrow. talking about some off-season training stuff that will hopefully be valuable for you guys, or for some of you. I know we have different, some people on the channel really like racket reviews, some people like the shoe stuff, some people like it when I'm talking about my matches, and then some people like the drills and stuff, so. But yeah, it's nice to go back to stringing my own racket. Like yesterday, I strung, I think it was yesterday, yeah, it had to be yesterday. I strung like an oversized racket that had to be, 115 square inches. And that was so weird to string because they have all these weird ports and stuff to bring the string through the grommet, and it's so weird. What's up? What's up? Are you gonna record your tourney this upcoming weekend? I'll think about it. I mean, it just really depends on, like, it's not a big tournament at all. Like, it's a small local tournament. So I probably would only have like 2 or 3 tournaments maybe worth, or 2 or 3, sorry, matches that are worth recording. But I don't know. I'll think about it. I mean, I have a mount that can go on the fence, so maybe I'll even live it. I mean, I don't know. We'll see though. I feel like I messed up on this string here. I'm like sleeping here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I sleeping? I think I'll be fine. Got another one in here. Hi man, did you watch Rune Medvedev? Yes, I do. I actually could flip the camera around. I'm actually still watching it. It's I'm watching Holger give his speech right now. I mean, it's muted because I don't want the sound to come through. So it doesn't interrupt me talking. But I'm watching him right now speak. I thought it was a good match. I mean, I don't like his whininess and like maybe his personality, but his game is really, really good. Me and my dad were talking about that today. Like, I think in a couple of years, like, people are gonna warm up to him. Maybe even like by the end of the year, you never know. Like, fans are so all over the place. Like, I just think he's maybe said some things and made some errors on that part. But I mean, I really can appreciate his game, and I mean, he's my age, I think. Like, that's kind of stupid. Like, imagine me. I just was the finalist in Rome. Like, that's a joke. You know what I mean? Like, that's quite impressive. But Medvedev, honestly, pretty impressive for him, actually, because he hates clay. And if you didn't know that, just go watch up, like, the Tennis TV bloopers and stuff. But yeah, I know. Good for him, I guess. I don't think he'll win Roland Garros, though, because the clay quarters will be out in full force, and I think Novak will play better. I think Carlos will be playing well. It would be very hard for Medvedev to win, especially in best of five. Like not because he's not because like he doesn't have endurance or anything, but because he just hasn't been in the clay best of five situation enough to be that good. But he could prove me wrong. I mean, I think it would be awesome to see him win. I like Holger's chances too, but yeah. Rune isn't. Yeah, that's a good point about Leighton Hewitt actually. Leighton Hewitt, like that's going kind of nearly before my time, but I heard he wasn't necessarily that pleasant either when he was young. I mean, even Novak was kind of a weirdo there in the beginning, like before he won his first slam and stuff. Like, I think a lot of people, like the media, is very tough on all of them, and it's tough. Like these guys, like, I mean, do I think I would act better than Holger Rune in front of the camera and doing interviews? Yeah. Do I think he said some things? Yeah. But also, like, these guys are under a lot of pressure. They're tired. They're grinding their rear end off for, like, hours and hours on a court and then traveling the world. Like, that's a lot on the head. So it's understandable why things are said maybe sometimes, or especially when they're younger, too. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just maybe saying, like, giving people the benefit of the doubt and stuff. And I think people are just really hard on some players on the ATP and the WTA sometimes. I really hope today is not a stringing nightmare for me. Sometimes, like, I don't know if you guys do this, but like when I count the string for the mains, like sometimes I don't even pay attention, and then I start stringing and I'm like a main short. That's just like a terrible rookie mistake. I don't really do it that often, but it happens once in a while. I hope that's not one of these days because I'm not quite in the mood for that. I think I'll be okay. Yeah, feel free to keep asking questions, guys. I mean, racket questions or string questions or whatever. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of golf, but the PGA's championship is on there right now, one of the golf majors. That's been pretty cool to watch. Please have enough string. I think I will. Yes, sir, I do have enough string. We like that, I'll take it. Has your serve ever gone totally off during a match, and have you had to find your toss and timing? Of course. I mean, I can't say like I forgot how to serve or anything like that, but like, I've definitely had days where like my serve has just kind of felt like shit. Like, for lack of a better word, yeah, I mean, I think that's normal for you to have like some pretty bad days. And normally when that happens, like, if my serve feels bad, the rest of my game feels bad. But like, it's tough. Like when your serve's in a funk, some things that I would just try and think about are like, for me, like I feel like everybody has their own tendencies, but like I always hit the tape a ton when my serve is off. and that's normally because I'm not using my body enough, like my lower body, or I don't keep my arm up enough, so like I fall over. But normally my serve can be really off because of those things. But if those things are not working, that just probably means I'm having a bad day. And then everything else also has a bad day too, and then it's just a bad day. But yes, there has been times when my serve feels like a bucket of crap. I mean, there's days that you have pros that are having a terrible day. I mean, it happens to everybody. It's not just like club players that have a bad day on their serve. But obviously, the more you practice it under pressure, the more you clean up your mistakes, the less it's going to happen, but it's always going to happen. Just normally, the better the player you are, the less it will happen, but you can never stay away from it, or not stay away from it, but you can never like escape having a bad day. You know what I mean? Like, that's impossible. Because sometimes, like, when it comes to other shots too, like, other players are going to make you play bad. Like, that's what happens at, like, the higher levels, guys. It's like, when you play college tennis, or, like, when guys are playing ITFs or challengers and tournaments like that, like, players get so good that they make you play bad. Hi, have you tried out any of the Technifiber ISO rackets? Somebody actually asked me that yesterday. I think. We were talking about Technifiber rackets briefly. I hit with the 305 T-Fight briefly. It seemed like it had a pretty good feel, although I didn't love it. And I think it's just because it had some bad string in it. I have not hit with the whatever the other ones they have, 300 or 315. I haven't had those ones either. But I've heard really good things about them. A ton of people always say in the comments, like, okay, like, really gonna try the Technifiber stuff. Somebody yesterday also really wants me to try the Tempo Ega one. Actually, I'm sure that one would play really nice, to be honest. Like, put a little lead on that. Put some lead in the grip, and then, what do you say, balance it up in the hoop to make it feel good. Nice new grips, throw some poly strings in there. I bet that racket, I mean, a lot of people said they love it. So I would try that if I could get my hands on it, but. Does your school have their own stringer? Yes, they do. Or yes, we do. We have a couple stringers, actually. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. By stringer, like, do we have somebody that strings our rackets? No. So we string our rackets, or like some of the guys will string them for the other guys, or I'll string for the girls. We have 2 electric stringers. One was actually in my room this past year. My coach let me bring it to my room, so like I could just string a racket in my room with an electric stringer, which was pretty nice. At other schools, though, some schools have their own stringer, or their assistant coach does it, or sometimes they have a deal with the indoor facility that they play with, and they just give the rackets to them and they get them done for free or whatever. Hey, you got any tips for picking out a racket? The issue I have is I can't demo a racket where I live. Well, I know how you feel. That's what it used to be like for me when I was younger. If you can, tell me what you want from the racket. Tell me what you want from the racket, and tell me what racket you have right now. And also like add like what you like about your racket and stuff, and I can kind of point you in the right direction, and maybe tell me what your level is, because there's a lot of questions that go into that, but I understand that that's pretty tough. But if you're Canadian, we have a demo service here. There's one company that does it. If you live in the US, you can get that shipped to you. Tennis Warehouse Europe, I'm sure, does. But yeah, make sure you check everywhere online, even if you can demo. got some comments coming in here. How often or inoffensive do you see pro staffs? Also thoughts on how effective pro staff and RF on college and tour level. I think you mean like how often do I see pro staffs? Like when I play on like the college tour? I would say like not a ton, but definitely like not a lot. There's definitely a fair share of them. Like Sam, one of the guys in our team, he plays a pro staff. And then I've seen other guys from other teams play pro staff. They're just not. They're not super popular. Like there's way more blades. There's way more blades than there are pro staffs. I see there's questions in there. Just give me a second. I'm just going to do the first cross here. Get me started here at least. But yeah, hang on there. I'll get to your questions. Here we go. Okay, I'm coming. One sec. Feeling a little slow today. I'm actually a little sick, so. Okay. Does your school let club players use the stringers? I haven't had the courage to ask them yet at my school. Ha ha ha. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we definitely don't let people use our stringers. I don't mean that in a mean way or anything, but like the stringers are only for the tennis team. Favorite tennis court you've played at location-wise? I'll get to that in just a sec. How frequent do you see pro staffs being used? Yeah, like I said, pro staffs. I mean, I see them less than I would see blades. Blades are everywhere. I mean, I see a good amount, but not like a ton. Have I ever tried the Yonex Riga, or however you say it, 98? No, I have not. I don't see the RF one a lot on. I don't see the RF pro staff a lot. A lot of guys just put leads on their rackets. And I'm moving over to the side because I have another screen that has a comment. They're like, don't think I'm not like talking to you. What are your thoughts on Dunlop rackets? Honestly, never tried them. They seem pretty cool. I mean, I haven't heard bad things about them. They got a couple good guys on tour that are endorsing their products. But I'm going to answer the tennis court question because that's a good one. There's a couple of places that I play junior tennis that I absolutely love playing. A couple clubs here, like in Canada, I'm Canadian, that we would travel to in the summer to play junior tournaments. Kind of hard for you to know where they are or me to give you a picture, but they're just really nice on the ocean. Always good weather there. But without a doubt, my favorite court that I've ever played on, probably by far, are the U.S. Open courts. Like I played on Louis Armstrong last year, and played matches on all the U.S. Open courts. Not at the U.S. Open, but for ITAs. So that was pretty amazing. Those courts are the best of the best, obviously. But yeah, being able to hit inside Louis Armstrong, wow. That's That's something. Actually, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram. Not the MP Tennis one, but the my personal one. You can. There's a video of me hitting on those courts, which is pretty legendary in my opinion. A lot of fun things from that trip. But yeah, U.S. Open courts were my favorite. What are your what rackets are you planning to review next? I mean, honestly, we'll see. There's going to be a video about rackets. I'll just say that in general, coming in the coming weeks. I'm not sure what the release date of that video is going to be or what the title of that video is going to be, but it'll be a nice surprise for you guys. That's definitely a video that's in the works and stuff, so I'm excited to share that one with you. So that video will cover a lot of racket talk that has been happening on the channel the past year, almost, maybe the past like 8 or 9 months. And yeah, it'll be really good to talk about that in that video. I'm not going to say too much. But yeah, I'm probably not going to demo a ton. It's really tough for me to get demos at home or companies. It's tough for them to send me rackets here just because of my location. Like when I'm at school, I can get rackets so easy. Like the US is really easy for that. And I can even get them from Tennis Warehouse too, which is cool. Like I can't get demos from Tennis Warehouse, like they don't send them to Canada. But I know somebody asked me earlier about streaming my matches or recording my matches for the next weekend. I'll think about it for sure. I just don't know which ones I would record. We'll see, and we'll see if it's good for the channel. I mean, some matches don't pan out, like it can be crooked, the camera or whatever, but we'll see. Alrighty. Any collabs with other tennis creators in the works? Somebody asked that yesterday, actually. No. However, that would be awesome. We talked about some people that would be fun to collab with for sure. I think Tennis Nerd would be cool. I mean, I don't really have anything to talk to him about though, because rackets, I mean, I'm going to be settled on a racket here coming. So like, if I was going to do a collab with him, it should have happened like a couple months ago. But I was also in season, so it's kind of hard to do fun or collabs that take a lot of time and energy when I'm focusing so much on the team and myself. But Tennis Brothers would be really fun, but it would be really hard for me to I don't know what we would do. Like, I'm sure we could do something. I mean, I can't really like fly over to the UK though right now either. But like I said, I don't know, maybe if he came to, there's a 25K in Laval, Quebec, which is just outside of Montreal this summer. So if he wanted to come and play that, I might be in that, so maybe we can do a collab there. But yeah, Gladiators tennis is cool. Tencom is good. There's a ton of good creators out there. My Tennis HQ, of course, would be a fun collab. Somebody asked yesterday if I would do a collab with Winston Dew. I think that would be really fun too. California is, I mean, people think the US and Canada are really close, and yes, they are very close, we neighbor them. But to get to California is like, that's so far away from me. But yeah, of course, I would love to do some collabs. I think that could be something in the future that we definitely will and could add to the list. Would you have a beer if you can't get one of your... We should have a beer if you can't get one because of your academic agreement. Well, take those together. Okay. Right now, I use the Head Metallics Altitude Elite, a beginner racket, but I'd say I'm an intermediate now. I have a decent control and power while lacking a bit of spin. Well, if you really like a head racket, like if you like the feeling you got with your head racket right now, then I would say you could go for, it depends, I don't know what the weight is on that racket either. But you could go for like an Extreme MP or an Instinct, might not be a bad choice. You could go for like a Speed, like Team or Speed L. I don't know if they're still making those rackets. If you don't want to do a head racket, you could always do like a Babolat Pure Aero Light or something like that, because you'll get the same power, if not more, and you'll get more spin. But yeah, it's tough, especially if you can't demo them. I would say Extreme MP, Instinct MP, Speed Light, or whatever they have on there, Speed Light or Team, I don't know what they have on there. And then you could always go for Pure Aero Light or Pure Aero Regular. What's the clay court scene like where you are? Competitive and casual? Is there clay court at your school? I'll get to that one sec. 265 and feels unstable to me. 102 square inch. Yeah, 265 is pretty light. 265 is very light for me, or very light for a lot of people. I would say that, yeah, I would go for like a Speed Light or like those, the Extreme MP, like a lot of those rackets are right around 300, like anywhere from 295 to 305. And then when you put strings in them, it would be a little bit of a jump in weight for sure, but the stability would increase a ton. The clay court scene here, I mean, yeah, we have clay courts, yes. I mean, it's not like Europe, I'll tell you that. We have a lot of hard true clay here, like they do in the U.S. There is a little bit of red clay though, like in Montreal, and I'm sure there's some red clay out in BC as well, like Vancouver. I've played on red clay in Montreal before, but I have green clay like down the street, like 5 minutes, that I play on like pretty regularly. A lot of our videos are done there actually. Love that club. For hard true clay courts. But our school, like college tennis, is never played on clay, ever, ever, ever. It's a rule, I believe. And I never play on clay when I'm at school either. Just because it would be like a disservice to me to play on clay, like that's not going to help me at all. But yeah. I actually did play, our team did like, what do you call it? I forget what you call it. I shouldn't say our team, like 4 of our guys and our coach went to do, I forget what they call it. It's like, it was like an invitational event where like we not put on a show, but like we played tennis for some people at a club in the fall in Boston. What do you call that? It's like I don't know what I call it, but we basically 4 of us went and we played tennis on clay in Boston for like for people that have like memberships at this club. They wanted this, like, it was basically just like put on a show. So like we played against each other, and that was on clay. But that like was against my teammates, so like it didn't really do anything, and that was also like way before the season even started. So, but other than that, like, yeah, there's no clay courts on the college scene whatsoever. I'm sure there's some stuff over here. Any suggestions for an aggressive baseliner? Hits more on the flat side. Good backhand slice. Big weapons are serve and forehand. Have a weak two-handed backhand though. Blade V8 1619. Would like control. So I'm assuming you have a Blade 1619 right now, and you want more control. I mean, what about the Blade 1820? I mean, I know from past experience that, like, playing with, I know the Prestige is a way more control-oriented racket than the Blade, but, like, if you compare the Blade 1619 to the Prestige 1820, both 98 square inches, those are two completely different rackets, in my opinion. Like, 1820 really does give you a lot more control, I feel, especially in the 98 head sizes. But yeah, I would recommend a Blade 1820 if you want to get rid of the blades and get something completely new. You can try like a Pro Staff. But yeah, what's going on here? Shoot. I always do that. But yeah, I mean, and if you really want to go for it, you can go for like a Prestige 18, 20, 98 square inch. That's a fun racket to play with. It's not easy to play with though. If you feel like you have a good slice, the Prestige will be your best friend. However, if you struggle to hit over on your backhand, that could be a nightmare too, just to let you know. Because if you have, like let's say your issues with hitting your backhand, like you tend to hit short and stuff with your blade, and you don't have a great backhand, the ball is going to land even shorter with a lower launch angle with the Prestige. That's just the way it is. But demo some rackets and Gravity Pro, or I think you mean Pure Aero 98, which is better performance racket? Oh. All these rackets I'm talking about are good rackets, guys. There's no such thing as a bad racket anymore. Like really, there's just some people like certain rackets more than others. In the Pure Aero 98 and Gravity Pro, those play like completely different. It depends on what you want. And it depends on your level, and it depends on like how you play. Like, do you play from the baseline? Do you like to serve and volley? Do you have a big forehand? Like, what do you not like about your current racket? I really try to challenge people on those things because, like, a lot of people will just go out and buy a racket and be like, I need this, and then they just buy it thinking it's going to fix their problems, and it doesn't, because they either make the wrong choice or they have some glaring technique issues. But a better performance racket, it's really hard for me to answer that because they're both amazing, and they're both meant for a type of player. I think the Pure Aero, yeah, I can't really say which one's better performing. I'm sorry. Like, they're both excellent rackets. It just depends what you want. A lot of factors that come into play there for sure. What else we got on here? Thanks for the input. I've been doing some research and was considering the Extreme and Pure Aero. I don't know whether or not to get the 100 square inch or the 98. Yeah, that's just really up to you, man. Like the 98 is going to give you a little bit more control. If you're somebody that really likes to grind behind the baseline, like really loves that, then I would probably go with the 100. If you want to have a little bit more feel, touch, probably would go for the 98. It just depends on what you want. I have a fun idea. If you send Yannick's Regna 98 to YouTuber channels to review them, such as you and Tencom, are you open to the idea? I have a spare and can ship them back. LOL. Oh damn! Just a sec. I'll read that. I'll answer you on that. The Gravity I tried played like a Yannick's VCore Pro 310, the old model Gravity on sale. Yeah, I mean the VCore Pro and Gravity would play. I think the Gravity plays more like a control racket, honestly. The thinner beam. Like the Gravity Pro is also, well, the VCore Pro I think is 1820 maybe too. It just depends on the model. Would more headlight or head heavy offer more control? I think that's a good question. I think probably headlight. However, it depends on the racket. If you have a headlight racket, it's easier to move through the air. And I feel like it's easier to generate racket speed, and then therefore you can manipulate what you want to do with the ball. However, some people probably will disagree with me. I personally think a head-heavy racket is harder to control because there would be more mass coming behind the ball. And that means it might be harder to control. That's just my opinion. But I don't know if there's like an actual answer to that. What are we doing for time here? We're at the 43-minute mark there. Not too bad. Taking our time. I say that in every video because I do take my time when I do lives. Streaming is like therapeutic, so take your time. I think somebody asked if I ever played paddle. I have never played paddle. It looks like a ton of fun, and I feel like tennis players are automatically good at it. Tennis players are automatically good at every racket sport. I'm sorry. Probably because tennis is the hardest racket sport. Hopefully I'm not upsetting anybody there. Squash is pretty tough, but I mean, the amount of things you got to learn when you're out there on the tennis court and to get to a high level, that's insane, man. So hard to do. There's a huge physical piece. There's a huge mental piece. Huge tactical thinking stuff. And I just feel like when you look at paddle and badminton, and now we got friggin' pickleball, like I think that tennis is by far the hardest, in my opinion. And I'm also biased because I play tennis at a higher level too. Don't get me wrong, I still love to play badminton. I've played pickleball a little bit before. I've played squash. I just think tennis there's a lot that goes into it. But once again, I'm very biased too. We were talking about that last night, me and my dad, like the hardest sports. Tennis is definitely up there. But I think there's a couple sports that would be ahead of it. Somebody the other day to me was saying why baseball is harder than tennis, and I had a good laugh. Got into tennis because I was just naturally the best at badminton at school. You know what? I love playing badminton at school too. A lot of people get into tennis from starting badminton. I feel like if you start playing badminton, it's harder to learn tennis though versus tennis to badminton, because I feel like the way the racket is and like the racket is so light and you play with a very different, like you play with a shuttle, or they call it a birdie too. Like you play with that, and then you go from that to like a huge racket. Like a tennis racket is huge compared to a badminton racket in tennis balls, and the court is way bigger. So I feel like learning to play tennis is much harder when you played badminton before from going from tennis to badminton. Because I know people that play badminton that try tennis and they're like, oh man. And you can tell too when people learn tennis because they play badminton, like you can see it in their technique. But it's also the same too for tennis players. Like I played badminton all through middle school and high school. And me and my friends, like we would play badminton because we played tennis. And we just looked like tennis players playing badminton. So it was always really funny. Like our gym teachers would really make fun of us because like we would never have the quick wrist. It would always be like a one-handed backhand, just because that's all we ever knew. But when you watch badminton players play tennis, it also looks really funny too. It's just the way it goes. I'm sure there's some questions over there. Bear with me. Badminton is a continental grip. Yes, and that's why I found badminton so easy to pick up because like we volley and hit overheads and hit serve. So like everything is with continental grip. So I love that. Where when badminton players play tennis, everything is not with a continental grip. You can get away with a lot, but it's a very tough. Thoughts on warming up with heavier racket than moving to a lighter racket when playing? No. Never do that. Ever. Don't ever do that. That's just my opinion, but what's going to happen is your swing will feel way faster. Like, I would never do that before a tournament. Like, that would just mess you right up. I would, however, like let's say you're in a training block. I don't know how old you are, your level, but like something that when I was younger, like to work on racket head speed, we would put like a racket cover over my racket, and I would swing and hit tennis balls with the racket cover, and the racket would feel so heavy because the wind in the air the air would not be able to move through the strings. And then you would take the racket off and your racket would feel lighter, but like that's when you're in a training block, like. And that's not used, like that way of coaching isn't used like that much either. Like I only ever did that exercise with one coach. And I think it's effective, but I also would never do it before a tournament. Unless it makes you play good, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's just me though. But like Novak and all these guys at the top, girls too, they would never be playing with a heavier racket or something that made their racket heavier before, you know, that they go on court. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Guys, I'm about to just wrap up the last cross here, so make sure you're getting all those questions in. And I'm going to do the knot here shortly. It was nice to have a bunch of you in here today, for sure. Oh yeah, sorry. I have a fun idea. If I send Yonex Racket 98 to a YouTuber channel, I mean, yeah, I mean you could. Um, where are you from though? That's the only thing. Like, I don't need you to tell me like your name and address right now. If you're not from Canada, um, that could be really tough because yeah, then we have to pay for duty and you gotta pay for shipping and that could be a nightmare, especially if you're an American or live somewhere else. I probably won't be demoing as many rackets either. Like I said before, actually I said yesterday on the live that I won't be demoing, I won't be demoing as much because I've made my racket choice. The racket switch is coming, everybody. The video is coming. So stay tuned to that. I won't be saying anything right now about it, but you guys can watch a video about it in the coming weeks on Anti-Tennis channel. There we go, all strung up, looking fresh. We like that. Good old 54, 52. Linko Confidential, gotta put a new grip on there too. Throw in a couple more comments there. Then we're gonna wrap her up for the day. I'm gonna go to the gym and go for a little bike. Go for a little bike ride. I don't normally work out on the weekends, I just do a little light active recovery stuff, so that's why I'll be heading to the gym. Alrighty. You said you live in Canada. I'm going to university in Victoria next year, hoping to join some sort of tennis program there and play with some with the big kids. Oh well. Yes, there's definitely some good tennis in BC. A lot of good indoor facilities as well, a lot of good outdoor facilities. You'll definitely be able to find some good tennis there for sure. Curious, why didn't you switch to the Exotics Extreme Tour? Felt more comfortable and powerful versus the Extreme 360. I'll let you know about those details in my upcoming video. There's going to be a big racket video, like I said to you guys at the start of this live. So I can't really comment too much about that because I'm going to talk about like all the rackets I've demoed and what I'm going to go with. So you guys are going to see. So yeah, thank you for hanging out with me for 54 minutes and 36 seconds. Have a good day, you guys, and we will catch you on the next live, next video. We actually have a video here coming out really, really shortly, either tomorrow or the next day. So be sure to look at that. Of course, have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.